your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Nick Morganelli.
Good afternoon. I'm not too impressed with the way this storm is evolving today. It's going to be arriving a little bit later, maybe around 4 o'clock now instead of, it was more like 2 or 3 o'clock. Now it's more like 4 o'clock. But let's look at the temperatures first, even all the way up to the Canadian border. Burlington's 25. You go way up to Bangor, Maine, it's 21 degrees. So there's really not a lot of cold air around to draw on as well. And look at Providence is 36, Hartford 37, it's 40 in New York City. We do have lots of winter or weather advisories. We got the winter weather advisory for North Providence County, heads up into Massachusetts for all of Worcester County and points west. And also it extends into northern parts of Connecticut as well. And then there's a wind advisory as well from 4 o'clock this afternoon until 4 in the morning on your Thursday, because overnight tonight, the wind will really be a big story. Wind will gust and we'll have some very heavy rain. And with that too, we have the gale warnings offshore as well. And there's some also a flood advisory for street flooding and also for a splash over from the high tide around 11 o'clock tonight. So keep that in mind. Here's our radar and looking up into the cloud. None of this is reaching the ground right now. So the air is still dry over us and has to saturate the air. Notice there's a lot of holes in here too. So let's widen it out and see where it is actually precipitating. And you have to go way back here through Washington, D.C. and Raleigh, North Carolina. The leading edge of the precipitation now is just getting to New York City. So nothing is falling east of there at the current time. So it's going to take a few more hours for that to even get here. And then we're looking at temperatures that will be really mild, where anything that does fall as snow, I think it's just going to melt when it hits the ground in a lot of locations in Rhode Island. So snow begins 3 to 4 o'clock. It's mixing to rain on the south coast right away. So I've been saying that the whole time. The south coast, the I-95 corridor, it's really just wet from this whole storm. It's briefly moderate snow for the evening commute, and that's especially for north of the city of Providence. So if you're heading up 146 up into Smithfield, you're heading north on 295 up into Massachusetts, then you're going to hit, a time where it's just 2 or 3 hours this evening where it could get a little slippery, a little treacherous. Really, it's just a visibility factor. The temperatures are not all that cold, so I don't expect a lot of slippery conditions. But slush on the roads can be a little bit treacherous. So changes to rain by 7 to 8 o'clock as this warm front pushes in. This is 4 o'clock. It's starting to snow here, and then the warm front quickly pushes northward. The surge of warmth under this storm ahead of it with a south wind is really going to scour out any cold air that's left. And this rain snow line moves all the way up into central New England, in fact. So here's 11 o'clock. It's icing even by Manchester, New Hampshire, and Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and it continues to move northward from there. Even way up in Maine, down East Maine, is pouring from this storm by tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. At that time, we're drying it out. We've got a westerly wind in here, and we're drying it out during the day tomorrow and into the day on Friday, where we have some sunshine. So we're looking at a coating to an inch in southern Rhode Island, an inch or two in the northwestern hills. You go north of there, you get 2 to 4 inches up by Worcester. There's really nothing from Newport, Fall River, westerly. You won't be having any snowfall from this. 45 with temperatures rising all night tonight. And the high temperatures tomorrow are actually in the morning. And then the temperature falls in the afternoon and evening. Let's look at the 7-day forecast. This is the way it looks with temperatures at 36 on Friday. It's breezy and chillier. Over the weekend, 40s with sunshine and clouds. Not too bad of a weekend there, Natalie.
Yeah.